Hello, 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 everyone. We are doing our due diligence again today. We are open, but again, not in a normal way. As you can tell by my hat, well, or lack thereof, we are not open in our usual way. We're open in a different way. We're open in the way of lawyer's office and doctor's offices. So we get to transition from being a detective, actor, scientist, whatever we were doing over with Sherlock or Cam Jensen or whoever, or we're not an alien today. Today we are doctor, lawyer, thug slash bully, period. That's what we're doing. Okay, so of course we run in groups. We're like, I don't know, children of the corn today. So it's you guys, it's Scott, it's me, it's the people, our gang, our crew, and I'm gonna give you their names eventually. Today we're doing thug life slash Debo vibes. Scott has recently discovered who Debo is. What did you think about Debo, Scott?
It's definitely dude you don't really want to associate with.
Unless you have to, and you don't have to. And for those who don't know who Debo is, it's from the movie Friday. Check it out. It's quite hilarious. Um, yeah, so today we're doing the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Scott, have you ever read this book? Do you know anything about this book? What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I know, the story kinda. I never read the book, or I don't know if I've ever even really seen the movie on it.
Okay, so this would be a first for you.
It's about retellings from like cartoons or Scooby Doo.
Does Scooby Doo do a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde?
I don't know, but I feel like I've seen like cartoons with it.
Okay. Well, we're gonna redo it for everybody.
Scooby Doo would be one, but maybe not. Maybe something else.
I don't know if this fits in Scooby Doo, but nonetheless, we're gonna do Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. So stars off with a lawyer, because again, we're cosplaying as whatever these people are doing. Oh, and by the way, before we get started, the outfit is representative of what we're about to go through. I wore my nun hat thingy, and I wore my devil ears because we're doing a little bit of both here today. We're doing a little bit of everything. And I wore my traveling curls because we gonna have to run from the police.
Oh.
This part here is gonna have to run from the police. Okay? Yeah. So we're starting off, we're strolling down the street, and we're with the narrator of this story. His name is Gabriel Utterson. He's a lawyer, and he's walking down the street with his cousin Richard Enfield. And they do this every Sunday. They're totally different guys. Like, they have two totally different personalities, but they like to walk together every Sunday. And so they're,
I just got a quick question.
What's the question?
What's the time period?
The 1800s. We're still in the 1800s.
Like Sherlock Holmes time.
Yep. They're dressing the same. We got top hats. We got canes.
And it's taking place in London.
Yes. So look, and we even got the Sherlock Holmes beaker. Like, we're doing scientific things. We got canes. We got top hats. We got capes. We're doing that.
All right.
Okay. Good question. So we're walking, and the cousin Enfield is like, they walk past Dr. Jekyll's house, and Utterson and Dr. Jekyll are good college friends. They went to college together. And so the cousin Enfield was like, that's the house over there. That's the blackmail house. And so Dr. Jekyll, or I'm sorry, Utterson was like, what you talking about? Because that's my homeboy's house. What you talking about? And Enfield was like, well, he didn't, Utterson didn't reveal that that's his homeboy, but he was thinking it. He was like, that's my homeboy house. What you talking about? And so, he was like, well, last week I was walking around at 3 o'clock in the morning, as people do. I was walking near this area at 3 o'clock in the morning. And, there was a little 8 or 9 year old girl like running full speed at that same time at 3 o'clock in the morning. Do you know where your children are? Clearly, they're on the streets of London at 3 o'clock in the morning, sometimes at 8 or 9. So she's running full speed. And meanwhile, there's a guy walking at 3 o'clock in the morning, too. Clearly, London is busy at 3 o'clock in the morning. So he's walking with his little cane, down the street. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Everybody's just out and about, I guess, instead of being in a bed. So the little girl collides with the weirdo looking dude. He over here looking like that. The weirdo dude that's walking with his cane, who happened to be Mr. Hyde. And the cousin says that. He's like, oh, it's that weirdo guy, Mr. Hyde. That dude that gives everybody a bad vibe. He gives everybody bad Debo thug-like vibes. Like, they just like, ugh, why is he here? Where did he come from? Who is this guy? Ugh. And so, the little girl and Mr. Hyde run into each other at 3 o'clock in the morning. This can only go well, right, Scott?
Only can.
Because anytime I'm out at 3 o'clock in the morning, only good things happen. My grandmother used to say, ain't nothing open that late but legs. Only good things happen, I guess. So anyway, these two are like, they're rounding the corner and boom, they collide. But Mr. Hyde is, of course, bigger than an 8 or 9 year old girl. She falls. And what does Mr. Hyde do? What do you think Mr. Hyde does, Scott? What do you out there think Mr. Hyde does?
My first instinct is he does something to the girl. I'm gonna say he helps her up.
We got the devil horns on. Mr. Hyde starts stomping this little girl out. I said Debo. I said thug life. This little girl like hits the ground, and he goes over there and he just starts stomping on her, like, what? Get out of here. How dare you walk around the corner and bump into me? Like, look, he's stomping her. Look, they got the picture in here. He's just stomping her out. Okay, so the little girl starts screaming, of course, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're in good sleep. So if it should be quiet outside. There probably shouldn't be this many people walking around, but there are. So the little girl, she's screaming, and people hear it, and they're jarred out of their sleep. So they opening their windows, they coming out. They're like, girl, what is going on out here? Why is this little girl yelling at 3 o'clock in the morning? And they see this dude, they're stomping her out, Mr. Hyde, by the way. And they're like, because back in the day, people like actually like helped each other. Like, they were like, no, you don't get to do that. They like shamed and shunned and held each other accountable. So they're like, no, you don't get to do this to the little girl. And Enfield goes over and he captures like Mr. Hyde, and he's like, no, you gonna stop this foolishness. Stop it now. And so, Mr. Hyde's like, all these people are seeing me stomp out this little girl. So I guess I'm going to slink off. And they're like, no, you don't get to slink off. Now, in the book, it said the women wanted to tear this man apart. And the men had to say, okay, hold up. So, they all came to a consensus. I guess they did instant justice right on the street the sidewalk. And they were like, they came down to it where Enfield said that the man agreed, or Mr. Hyde agreed to pay the little girl's parents, who finally came around the corner, £100, which was a lot back then. That's like a lot of money. That's like thousands and thousands of dollars today. So they made the agreement. And so Mr. Hyde was like, oh, well, let me go get the money. Where does he go? Dr. Jekyll's house. Mm-hmm. Pulled out a key, popped that sucker in, just walked right on in. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. And so, it feels like, people just walking up in, like, how you just gonna walk up in somebody else's house at 3:00 in the morning? Like, y'all must be like that. And then not only that, you gonna come out with a bag of gold and a check. That's crazy. And it ain't even in your name. It's in Dr. Jekyll name. And so it feels like you stole this check, you goon. We gonna go to, I'm coming with you to the bank tomorrow. You staying right here with me, and you coming with me to the bank tomorrow. So Mr. Hyde was like, whatever, cool. I don't care. Clearly I don't care. I just stumped out an 8-year-old. So the next day they go, the check clears, it's no big deal. And so Utterson is like, what has Dr. Jekyll gotten himself into? That's crazy. So, they keep on walking, they go on their way. So, Mr. Utterson get back to the house. Now, him and Dr. Jekyll are good friends, but also Utterson is his lawyer. So he pulled out the paper. He pulled out his little paper. He looked at the will, and he's like, because Dr. Jekyll got a will that says if he is gone for more than 90 days, or if he just comes up unalived, go ahead and give all that money to Mr. Hyde. And he was like, this man making a mistake. Mr. Hyde ain't got no good reputation. Everybody getting Debo vibes from him. Everybody just running, snatching their chains off, hiding them, doing something every time this fool come around, because he violent and crazy and rude and mean and disgusting. He's that. He's this. And so, he's like, that's a damn shame that this man is doing this. So he decides he wants to, reach out to his friend, because he wants to have a conversation like, sir, I just heard this man just stomped out a little 8 or 9-year-old girl. We really probably should reconsider changing this will. So he wants to talk to his friend. He goes up to the house, and we got Poole. Poole's the butler. He got an important role in this story, so don't forget about him. What's Batman's butler name?
Alfred.
He like Alfred. Poole is Alfred in this story, kind of, sort of. He's that significant. He's that important. So, he didn't adopt Dr. Jekyll, but he got that kind of clout. He got that clout. So Poole is like, he gone. I'll let him know that you dropped by. So he does indeed let him know that he drops by, because Dr. Jekyll sends an invitation out to, Mr. Utterson, and they have dinner, and then they later on go into his office and have a discussion. And Utterson is like, look, this ain't no good look, sir. As your lawyer, like, to hell with the friendship. As your lawyer, I'm telling you, this ain't a good look, sir. And so, you would think Dr. Jekyll would be like, man, he's stumping out 8-year-olds. Like, dang, that's crazy. People uncomfortable with him. Ugh. Maybe I should change my will. No. Scott, what do you think Dr. Jekyll did?
Cussed him out.
No, he doubled, tripled down, and also said, hey, if I disappear or if I come up unalive, you make sure you take Mr. Hyde under your wing. He a good dude. He stands up for him, right? And so Utterson was like, something wrong with you. Like, something wrong with you. Like, he must got blackmail on you or something. I gotta go. So Utterson doesn't see Dr. Hyde for a whole year. A whole year just goes by. Whole year goes by. Oh, wait, hold up real quick. Let me grab something, because I gotta set the scene. I gotta set the scene. So a year goes by. I'm back. Hopefully you didn't miss me much. Okay, so whole year goes by. So, one day there's a maid, she looking out the window. It's a full moon out. And she's like, twinkle, twinkle, little star. How I wonder who you are. Like a diamond in the sky. I forget how it goes. But she up there looking at the moon. She looking out her window. She looking like Peter Pan. How he would be sitting there like, yes. And all of a sudden she sees an older gentleman, a very upscale gentleman, walking down the street with his cane. He just bopping and walking. He doing his due diligence. He's having a good time walking down the street. He's lost. And here come rolling up is Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde, Mr. Debo, thug life on his chest, Hyde. The old man stops him and is trying to ask him for directions because the old man trying to get somewhere. And Mr. Hyde is like, why the hell you talking to me? I hate you. And just takes that cane, and I don't want to use my straw because it's wet. And he just bop, 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 bop. Till he's no longer with us, honey. That poor old man is no longer with us, honey. He didn't went topsy-turvy, honey. He didn't went up to the great beyond, honey. He just wanted some directions. And so this maid is sitting up there. First, she up there like, oh my God, twinkle, twinkle, little star. And then she looking down, and honey, it's a whole damn scene down there. Whole scene. Okay, whole scene need a chalk outline and everything. So Mr. Hyde then beat him probably with this cane right here that's in his hand. And the man is unalive. So Scotland Yard has to get involved. Like the maid just passes out. She like, oh girl, no. She probably got brain fever. It has been spreading through London. Yeah. Mm-hmm. A lot of people with brain fever. So when she gets up, she gets to Scotland Yard and she's like, hold up, some man, well, it ain't just any man. Mr. Hyde, who gives bad vibes everywhere he goes. He is not a vibe, baby. He's a bad vibe. He done came and beat this man into a whole nother life, honey. This man got to reincarnate after Mr. Hyde got done with him. And so Scotland Yard is like, oh, well, for some reason they do the investigation, but in his hand, he had a letter addressed to Utterson. Also, they needed a lawyer for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know what goes on police scenes in the 1800s in London. So I don't know why. But they went on and they came on Utterson's door and they're like, hey, we need you to come down here, identify a body, but also we need some of your expertise and you might be a witness. Come on down. Wow. And so, well, things happen. Like life ends.
Not just a lot. They need a lawyer, they need to identify a body, he's got to be a witness. It's like the whole deal.
It's kind of like Sherlock. Remember, Sherlock's an actor, a detective, a chemist. He on drugs. He does it all, baby. In one outfit, even. Have you ever seen him in a different outfit? How many outfits have you seen Sherlock Holmes in, Scott?
Same one, as far as I know.
Does it all in one outfit, period. So, so the maid's name is Sarah. So Sarah tells the story of what happened, and Utterson is like, didn't I tell my homeboy? He's still concerned about the homie. He's like, didn't I tell Dr. Jekyll not to play around with this fool? Didn't I tell him he stunk out an 8 or 9-year-old? Didn't I tell him that last year? And then look at him. Now this fool then escalated on up and then beat this man with a cane till now he is a past tense. Okay, we got to put him on a t-shirt. And, so, that happened. So, the police, Scotland Yard like, hey, come on up here, identify this body. Let's make sure it is who we think it is. And it is. And guess who it is? He picked the wrong person on the right day or the right person on the wrong day. Because it was Sir Carew. Scott over here talking about, wow, he don't even know who that is. He a parliament member. He a member of parliament. He part of the government. He high up there. So he ain't getting away with this foolishness. So the manhunt is on for Mr. Hyde. Okay, they looking and searching and trying to find this fool because you don't get to kill no member of Congress or parliament or anything of that level, no matter what country it's in. So they doing a manhunt. So, Utterson is like, who I got to go check on? He is like the best friend ever. Because I would have left Dr. Jekyll alone. Because, honey, the company you keep is not going to come back on me. But, hey, that's just me. Clearly, I'm not a good friend. So he goes over there to check on Dr. Hyde. He finds Dr. Hyde sitting there pale. He shooketh to the core. He shooketh. He's scared. He's upset, visibly. And, Utterson's like, have you heard what happened with your raggedy friend that everybody's getting bad vibes from? And Dr. Jekyll's like, yes. And I think he's done. I think he's gone. I don't think he's ever coming back. Please trust me. You ain't gonna never see him again. This will never happen again. He's a good dude, though, still. Don't change the wheel, though, still. And, I got a letter from him. Here's the letter. It basically, says that he ain't coming back. He's run off. He feels bad for what he did. And so, Utterson was like, give me that letter. Let me take that letter. Let me just put that with your will or something. Let me do something with that letter. Let me hold that letter. And so, Jekyll lets him hold the letter, and Utterson did not take it, like do what he said. He took it to his clerk, Mr. Guest. Now, Mr. Guest is the bomb.com, org, mil, gov, and edu, honey. Okay. Mr. Guest is that dude. Like, Utterson is the lawyer, but and Guest is the clerk, but the lawyer be coming to the clerk. Okay. So one of his special talents, Mr. Guest's special talents, is handwriting analysis. Now, how advanced this was in the 1800s, I don't know, honey. They didn't have AI. They didn't have computers. I don't know what was going on. But Mr. Guest looks at the letter, and then he picks up something from Mr. Jekyll or Dr. Jekyll, and he's like, this Dr. Jekyll handwriting. This the same person. This same person. Okay? Like, you not fooling me. This, just like these words are all the same. This the same person. This the same person here. So I don't know what's going on, but it's the same person. So, Mr. Utterson go on about his way, and he's like, this man covering for him. Like, my friend is, he's sucking low, baby. He's low. He has sunken low. He also decides, so eventually Utterson goes over to their other really good college friend, Dr. Lanyon. And he's like, have you heard of this Mr. Hyde person, Dr. Lanyon? And he's like, Dr. Lanyon, like, no, I don't know nothing about it. And he was like, have you even really been talking to Jekyll? And he's like, no, Jekyll kind of just cut everybody off. He's just been doing his own thing for like a year. I don't know what's going on with him. And so nonetheless, Lanyon, like, I don't know nothing. I ain't heard nothing. Yeah, I mentored him when we were in college. I don't know nothing for real. But keep him in your hat because he coming back, baby. I'm a rapper. Right. I don't even know if it rhymed, but it did. So eventually, Dr. Jekyll gets out of his funk. He starts inviting people over to the house. He starts having parties. He's a new man. He's rejuvenated. He let go of his little bum friend, Mr. Hyde. He's now a social butterfly. He's having a great time. Him and the homies are going to, I don't know, pubs. They having fish and chips with malt. They're doing it all. They're having a great time. And then one day, Jekyll just stops contacting everybody. He just falls off the planet again. And so, Mr. Utterson's like, dude, how does this, like, what's going on? It's only been 2 months. You back out here. I was having a good time with you. Lanyon was having a good time. We were all having a good time. It was like college again. And here you go being a recluse again. What's the problem? But it doesn't matter because can't nobody get in contact with him because every time, you go to the door, here come, I forgot, Poole talking about he don't want no company. And so, after a while, Utterson was just like, to hell with it. Like, he kind of stopped frequenting the house. He was like, oh, well, whatever. So eventually it goes back kind of to the beginning of the story. You got Utterson and his cousin. Oh, I forgot his name. Sorry, I'm bad with names. Enfield walking again. And they walk past Dr. Jekyll's house. And they started discussing the thing like, yeah, ain't nobody seen Hyde no more. It's the bomb.com or Bill and EDU because he was just disgusting. I didn't like being near him. He was a mess. And so, they kept going. But Utterson was like, you know what? I miss my friend. I haven't seen him in a while. I miss us trumping through his courtyard. He my friend. He know me. Let's just go through the courtyard. Let's just go walking. They go walking through the courtyard. They look up in the window. Who's sitting there? Dr. Jekyll. He's sitting there looking pale. He looking busted and disgusted. He looking a mess. And so, Utterson is like, hey, my friend, oh my God, what's up? Hey, do you want to talk? Can we hang out? Like every time I come to your house pool, say you can't come out and play. Can we hang out? And so, Jekyll was like, nah, I can't come out, but we can talk through this window. Let's just talk through the window. It's fine. But then all of a sudden, he started gyrating and twitching. And he hurried up and shut that window and scuttled off. And then, Enfield and Utterson are like, we got to stop messing with him. He wishy-washy. He flip-flopping. We got to stop messing with this fool. He be picking bad friends. He be getting all upset when them people, disappear after they stomp somebody out or beat them with canes. Like, he tripping. We need to let him go. And so, so Utterson was like, you know what? I'm going to repeat the cycle that I always repeat. And I'm going to go over to Lanyon's house and see what's going on. He goes over to Lanyon's house, and honey, Lanyon got one foot on the banana peel and the other foot in the grave, child. He about to go, baby. He about to go. And so Utterson is like, what is going on? Why is everybody crashing out, fainting, pale, shutting windows? You about to go to the great beyond. What is going on? And so Utterson is like, sir, have you like, you look just like Dr. Jekyll. What is going on? And Lanyard said, don't you mention him ever again. Don't you mention that fool. I don't mess with him. I don't talk to him. I don't like him. He ain't nothing to me and never has been. Don't you mention him. If you are going to keep mentioning him, you can just hit the bricks. Otherwise, I'm about to go, honey. Go up yonder. Did you want to talk about anything but him before I go? Before I step on this banana peel and slip into the grave, baby? And so they have their final discussion. And a few, weeks later, Lanyon gone. R.I.P. R.I.P. It's so hard. It's so hard. It's so hard. And I forgot. He probably had brain fever. He probably was sitting up there with brain fever. He probably had brain fever. So now Lanyon then went up to the great beyond. So, the homie's a lawyer. Utterson is a lawyer. So he goes to Lanyon house because he got to collect some paperwork. And they hand him a document for him. And so he opens it. He busts the seal open. It opens it. And it says, only read this if if Dr. Jekyll, after he passes away. That's the only time you can read it. Or if he disappears. And so Utterson's like, what is this disappeared unalive thing? Why the hell does everybody around here keep using this thing? What is going on? Am I missing it? He was. And so he's like, whatever. So he's just living his life, going day by day, doing whatever. All of a sudden, knock on the door. Who is it this time? Pooh, the butler. He then came and he's like, look, I can't take this no more. I can't take this foolishness. Absolutely no more. I need help. Ayúdame. It's Dora the Explorer. I need help. What do you think he needed help with, Scott?
Something with Dr. Jekyll.
Or it could be Mr. Hyde. We don't know. So it could be anybody around here. So, so he's like, what's up, Pool? And Pool is like, somebody didn't unalive Dr. Jekyll. Somebody didn't unalive him. Because we ain't seen from this man, we ain't heard from this man. But somebody in that room, they called it it. He was like, it is in that room. And it unalived my master. And we need your help to fit, because y'all good friends. You've been checking on them. And we telling you ain't nobody to check on no more. So he was like, could you come over here? We're going to use you to see if we can get in that room. If we can't, what we're going to do is something. We need your help. And so they get to the house. They get to Dr. Jekyll's house. And all the maids are crying. I don't know what the crime was going to do. And the butlers are sitting there like, oh my God, what do? We need a leader. We need a hero. And so, Utterson is like, I'm here. What's been going on? So basically, Dr. Jekyll has become a complete recluse. He don't come out of his office like never, ever, ever. And the only time the staff like hears from him is when he requests things for experimentation, because he likes to like experiment with medications and stuff like that. But what he does is he'll take it and he'll just throw it throws it over the banister, and it'll be sitting on the stairs for him. And so, Pool is like, that's been going on for the longest. We ain't seen him. We'll take his food up there. We'll leave the tray out there. He'll slide it when it's done. We ain't seen nobody come in or out. He's just in there. And so, he was like, the only way I know somebody's alive is because we hear somebody walking and mumbling to themselves. And also the scripts have gotten more and more frequent. It's like crazy. It's like 4 times a day. We got to go out and go get all this stuff he requested. And so he was like, look, we tired. We want to know where our master is. I think it's Hyde. I think it's Mr. Hyde up in there. It ain't even the same voice. It sounds like Mr. Hyde trying to mimic Jekyll. We tired of it. We need a hero. And so Mr. Utterman was like, cool, I'm down. Let's get it. And so they go knocking on the door to the office. And they hear a voice like, hello, 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 hello. And Pool is like, I got Mr. Utterson here. He want to see. Well, tell him I can't come out. And so Utterson is like, you coming out that damn room. You coming out that room. So they took a hatchet and they just start knocking that door down. And Mr. Utterson went and got him a cane. And he was like, I'm going to knock him upside the head. I'm tired of this man. I'm tired of him. He get on my nerves. And so, they bust in. And in there, guess what they find? Scott.
Mr. Hyde.
Yup. And he gone. He done unalived himself. He drank some poison.
Oh.
Look, there was no way out. And so, Utterson is like, well, if he was here, my friend somewhere, so they go looking for the body. They can't find it of Dr. Jekyll. They know where Mr. Hyde is. They go looking for Dr. Jekyll. They can't find him. And so they look through, eventually they got to look through his stuff. They find a letter addressed to, like a thick stack of letters addressed to Utterson. So he opens the first one and it's a revised will. Guess who he leaves the money to this time? Yeah. Period. Scott got it right. He was on the head. He left all the money to Utterson. He was like, hey, I revised the will. You are the heir to my will. And then there was another letter in there, and he was like, open when you're by yourself. And so Utterson is like, let me go on, Pool. Is no offense. When I come back, we're going to call Scotland Yard to go get this little heinous loser. But let me, honor my friend's wishes. And so in the letter, it says, hey, read Lanyon's letter first that he left you. He told me he left you a letter. Leave the letter. So Lanyon's letter goes a little like this. Hit it. So Lanyon had been out there hanging out with Dr. Jekyll. They was having a good time. It was like college again. And all of a sudden, he gets a letter from Dr. Jekyll saying, hey, go over to my house. My butler pool knows exactly what to do. There's going to be a locksmith and a person that a woodsman or something to knock down my door to my office if need be. I need you to go into my office, go in the fourth drawer, pull it out, get the vials and stuff in there, and then bring it over to my other house over on this side of town. And then I'll let you know what to do. This letter will self-destruct at midnight, meaning he needed him to be there he would be anticipating him getting there by midnight. And so Lanyon was like, okay, cool. This is what he writes in a letter to Mr. Utterson. So he's like, well, I owe an old friend, I owe him. So let me go on and get this done. So he gets it done. He gets to the address by midnight and he goes back to his house by midnight and he's chilling and he's waiting there. All of a sudden, knock on the door. Here comes this man he's never seen before that just gives him the worst vibes on the planet. It's giving Debo. And he's like, did you get the stuff that was sent? Now, mind you, Lanyon ain't no dumb. He ain't no dummy. He was like, I don't know what Dr. Jekyll was up to, but I had my ready. I had that thing on me. He was like, I had my thing on me. I'm not playing with y'all. I don't know who be running in these streets, but I heard a little 8 or 9-year-old girl got stumped out the other day, and that ain't me. So, So the dude comes in, he got bad vibes, and he's like, you want some of this? And the dude's like, no, let me act like I got some sense here. And so he was like, thank you for getting this. Are you sure? He was like, I'm going to give you red or blue pill, baby. Do you want to be here for what I'm about to do? And so Lanyon like, well, you got me here at midnight. I'm doing all this stuff. You got me in suspense. Yeah. And so Mr. Hyde was like, you got one more time before I do this thing. You sure you want to be here? And so Lanyon was like, yeah, go ahead. And so Mr. Hyde mixed his concoction up. He take this vial, put that, and he pour this in there, and he doing some stuff. And then he drinks it all up. And then all of a sudden he's like, I sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger right there. Yeah. I did. I sound like Arnold on Kindergarten Cop. I did. And he's like, he transforms from Mr. Hyde to Dr. Jekyll. And so Lanyon is just sitting there like, what in the entire hell? What am I watching? Mind you, this is the 1800s. Like, the Kardashians have not transformed through surgery yet. Nobody has seen that yet. Because them chicks don't even look the same. So, he's like, what the hell did I just... What in the plastic surgery? What in the Dr. 90210? What in the, sculpting with makeup is this? What is the beauty blender is this? Yeah. And so, Dr. Jekyll tells him, he's like, well, I created a potion. You were over there thinking that you were a better doctor than me, but I created a potion where I could transform into my worst self, period. I'm an innovator.
Yeah, great. Thanks for doing that.
Okay, yeah, I'm a whole lunatic, but I can transform, period. Doubt me. And at that point, Lanyon was like, this man crazy as hell. You're stupid. The fact that, also Dr. Jekyll told him, but I lost, I can't control when my worst self, my shadow self comes out. That's why I had to have you, run me that. So Lanyon's like, you got some problems, sir. Something wrong with you. You crazy. You're a mad scientist. I don't know if Frankenstein was out at this point, but it's kind of giving that. Get the hell out of here and I don't want to see you no more. And so, he beat it. Dr. Jekyll beat it. And so from there, Lanyon was like, I went on and got me some brain fevers. After seeing that, my body went into shock and was like, what the hell was that? I had never seen no foolishness like that. Because again, remember, the Kardashians are not here yet. So he got him some brain fever. And a few months after that, he went on and passed away from seeing that. That was just too much for him.
He passed away. Took him several months to pass away from seeing it.
Scott, ain't nobody asked you for that.
Okay.
This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. Maybe he had a bad heart. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm just telling a story.
It's the slowest heart attack ever.
Well, it happens. It happens like that sometimes. Maybe it was brain fever. Let's not rule that out.
All right.
So Utterson is like, what in the hell is what? What in the fairy godmother transformation is this? So then he's like, let me look at Dr. Jekyll's letter and see what this foolishness say. So basically, Dr. Jekyll was like, well, I was part good boy. I was smart as hell in school, but there was that bad boy thing I had lurking in there. When I would do that mischievous stuff. Yeah. Once I got to being a doctor and I got up there and I could experiment and stuff, I was like, wouldn't it be nice if you could like just bifurcate, split up your personality? Wouldn't that be nice? So I got to tinkering with potions and biting off frog legs and pouring this into that and that back into this and doing all this old foolishness. And all of a sudden, and all I had to do was add a pinch of salt into something. And all of a sudden, boom, I like transformed into a younger, evil version of myself. And so I just went with it. I was beating the hell out of people. I was having a great time. I was kicking puppies and kittens. Great time. Okay. I was playing Ding Dong Ditch. Good time. I was doing whatever. And it was a good time. And at first it was fun, but then it just became a whole addiction. I couldn't stop. That's why you didn't see me for no year. I wasn't avoiding you. I was out here being a degenerate. Letting my freak flag fly. Drinking and carrying on. And so he said, the first time he realized maybe this has gone too far was when he stomped that little girl out. He was like, and then he had to pay and people started getting suspicious. Then here come Utterson like, hey, your friend kind of sketchy. He was like, that's when I first started like kind of wanting to fall off. And he was like, that's the first time I started transforming without the potion. I went to sleep. Dr. Jekyll. I woke up, Mr. Hyde. What? That was the first time. Then he said when he beat the brakes off that man, he finally just stopped. And he was like, that's when y'all got me for 2 months. He was, but then it kept calling me. It kept calling me. Ugh. It was calling me to go back out in them streets and be a whole degenerate. And so he said, he took the potion again. But then there was that time where he took the potion, he took the reverse potion, and it didn't work. And this was after he beat that man to death. And so he tried to transform back. Nothing was working. He couldn't leave out and just go out into the house because the servants were there and they hated Hyde. And so they would have told on him. So he had to figure out a plan of how to get his potions and stuff. So what he figured out was, let me get Lanyon to get him for me. Because he said his mind when he was Hyde was like nefarious. Like it would do anything to get what it wanted. He was a sociopath or a psychopath, whichever. And so, he was like, I got Lanyon to do it and I transformed in front of him, told him what time it was. And Lanyon just was not here for it. And so he was like, as time kept going on, anytime, like I would just automatically default to Mr. Hyde. And I'm a whole killer out here. So, if I go out there as Mr. Hyde, they probably gonna give me the death penalty. So he would have to keep taking a reversal potion. He was running low on a reversal potion. And so he started sending his servants out to get him more of the ingredients. And he discovered that the salt he had was defective. The initial salt that he had a flaw in it. The new salt that he got did not have that same flaw. Therefore, it did not work the same like that original stuff. And Mr. Hyde just kept coming. He just kept coming. And Mr. Hyde at this point was like, if I can't terrorize in these streets, I'm going to terrorize you. He started scribbling in all his books, burning his daddy photos. He just started running amok. And so Dr. Jekyll's just like, oh my God, he's now beating me. Okay. And so at this point, he was like, clearly, I'm not going to be Dr. Jekyll anymore. I'm going full Hyde on this one. Let me change this will, because this man is a lunatic. Let me also write a note so somebody knows what happened to me. Don't come looking for a body, because there ain't gonna be one. And and he was like, as I'm writing this, I'm transforming. This is the last time I will ever be Dr. Jekyll. Goodbye, world. And so that's it.
Wow.
What did you think?
That was interesting.
He was a nun and a devil.
Yeah, it's good to hear the actual story.
Yeah, well, I mean, that wasn't verbatim, but I mean, my rendition.
Never really, like I said, I saw like kind of remake renditions of it, but never read the story or seen anything on it.
Well, that just happened. Now, what did you learn from this story?
Don't drink strange potions.
It wasn't strange. He was the one who made it.
Well, I'm not going to drink it anyway.
Yeah. I learned that people are dual. We're both good and bad. And I feel like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was a book about the duality of humans and what would happen if we actually split the good and the bad of us. And what happens when you repress the bad. Because the reason why Mr. Hyde was coming out so hard was because Dr. Jekyll was like, I'm gonna repress it and never bring it out. And when he got out, honey, he went out, beating people with canes and such. So never repress your dark side. Let it all fly. That's what I'm doing. Look at me. This is my dark side. My dark side likes to dress up and talk too much and do too much. What did you guys out there learn? And lastly, we got to get to our taste testing.
All right.
What do we have here, guys? Let's see. Scott wanted to try the turtle chips. So we're going to try these turtle chips. These are turtle chips. And I think it's churro flavor. It's chocolate churro. Choco churro. We get them from the Asian store. Well, we will see. I got to see. I don't know. This could go a few ways. This is what it looks like. It looks like cereal. It smells like cereal. It smells like Cocoa Pebbles.
Yeah.
Oh, this is good. Get these. Oh, this is good as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. That was really nice. It's like cereal. Like Cocoa Pebbles. Or Count Chocolate is really good. You probably get these things. Mind your Asian marketing. Go get you some. Anyway, with that, I have to get to cooking. Unlike those two people, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, I don't have servants. So, from wherever we are to wherever you are, peace and love and happiness and joy and all that good stuff, and no repression of your shadow side because it comes out in weird ways. And make sure you get these chips. These are good. Those are really good. Oh, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And with that, I'm going to bid you guys adieu. I don't know what I'm going to do next. Maybe Sherlock. I just got some Encyclopedia Brown books. You never know. So we shall see. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.